Hello everybody, welcome to Coco's Crochet. I'm Litza and today is the very first episode of Yarn of the Month. So this is going to be a mid-monthly review of a different yarn that I haven't used before and that maybe you haven't either, and then that way we can experience it together, and then eventually we'll come to yarns that I probably have used before, and of course all this time it'll be always just my opinion. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for coming along for this ride. Predominantly for the first few months, it is going to be yarn that I think you can only purchase in Australia unless you purchase on eBay or Marketplace, because I will be referring to the Shawn Sheep collection of yarns. Now I have written some notes here and I will be referring to them, and as always I've got my clipboard and my marker because I want it to be as an accurate review for you, to give you a very nice understanding of what this yarn is all about, and then that way you can make your own decision if you see it on sale or if you just want to try it yourself. So a little bit about Shawn Sheep. The company is here in Australia, and they're actually based in Bendigo. Yes, in Bendigo, Victoria. Now, I really don't know how old this company it is because there isn't very much on their website. But if I go back in my mind and I think of when I first saw some of the Shawn Sheep yarn, it would have been maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago, but it was just a very basic acrylic at the time, and it is still readily available. And I have to say that it is very well priced. The basic acrylic, 100 grams for $2.50 Australian dollars. Now that is as cheap as chips, as we say. But I haven't tried that acrylic, and I have felt it though, and it does feel quite soft, but I never thought, to purchase it. But over the last couple of years, I have noticed that in Big W, and that's the distributor for this company, Big W predominantly, basically they have been introducing more and more varieties of yarn over the last few years. Some of you may remember the cocoa yarn, and a few of you helped me source some. That was one of the yarns that it was in their collection. I knew nothing about it until one day I just saw it and the name spoke to me. And since then, every time I go to Big W, I do pop into the yarn aisle, because I don't know about you guys that live in Australia, but our Big W is very poorly in that department. They have one like a aisle. One side has the yarn. On the back wall, they have some of the carnival yarn, but on this side, they've just got a little bit of each color. And then, when it runs out, it runs out. So, I'm very excited to try this yarn now, and hopefully if I do like it, or if you guys, want to use it as well and you can't find it in your Big W, it might be better stock than mine. I'm sure you can get it online from, Big W. So what yarn am I going to review today? Some of you may remember that we chose the Snuggle Cuddle yarn. And here is the ball band here, guys. And I'm just going to show you on their website, on the Shawn Sheep website, the colours that it comes in. So it only comes in 5 colours. Now on the ball band it only has a number, but it correlates to a colour here, and I will be reviewing this one here, the blue one. And the other thing that I like about this yarn is that it really did surprise me along the way, so I can't wait to share all that with you. So this is the colour that I used here, as I said, was the blue one. And I will give you some stats on it now, just some information. Then I'll show you what I made with it, and then I'll tell you what I think about it, and also what I tried to find comparable yarns. It was very, very tricky though. So it is a little bit of a niche here in Australia at the moment, this yarn, which is awesome. So let me tell you a little bit about it. So on the actual website, it says that Snuggle Cuddle is a yarn that will add a pop of colour, an adorable fluffy texture to your little one's wardrobe. So they are targeting children's makes. And on the website, you can also go in, and there are very limited patterns in there. And I believe that the one for Snuggle Cuddle is currently a knit pattern, I think a little jumper or a sweater. As I said, it comes in 5 different colours. And the only place that I've seen it for sale is Big W, and I'm guessing you could find it on places like eBay or Facebook Marketplace. And the cost for each ball, so not at sale price, what I paid for it and what it's currently selling for, because I went in yesterday, I popped into Big W yesterday, is $5.50. Now, each ball, so each ball comes in 100 grams. So it's not a huge ball. So 100 grams, and that equates to 110 meters. And it is 75% acrylic and 95% nylon. And this is why I feel it is so extremely soft. It's just beautiful to work with. It is made in China, although it is by a company, sold by a company that is solely operated and owned in Australia. This color that I was showing you is actually color number 431401, but on the website it tells you that it's a blue mix. Now I'll show you, I have broken down the yarn for you so you can see it. I've pulled it apart. The actual brownish color comes from the bit that creates the halo, that fluffy bit, and I will show you that. Now this yarn is applied yarn, so basically, and as I said, like here it is here. Let me just show you that so you can actually see the soft halo that it has there. Now, this yarn actually, when you break it down, has 3 strands of the blue. So I actually cut a little piece off so I could show you. So it has 3 strands of the blue. So what it means when it says plied, and it does become a very strong yarn when it's plied, these are all twisted together. As you can see, they're nice and curly. And then the 4th component of this yarn is the fluffy bit, or the one with a halo. And this one, I'm not sure if you can actually see it, but it changes color. So it does have a color like ombre effect, or I'm not sure what the word is, but it does have a gradient of colors, and that's why you get the different shades of the browns in it as well, which was very appealing to me. So basically this yarn here is made using these 4 strands, and it is plied, and it is a very strong yarn, but in saying that, it is also very, very soft. It was very, very surprising, which was wonderful. Now, it does tell us that it recommends using a 5.5 millimeter hook, and I actually did use a 5.5 millimeter hook for this project because I wanted to make sure that I used it exactly the way they wanted us to for the very first experience, and then I'll let you know what I think later if I'm going to make any changes. It does tell us that we can hand wash it or gentle machine wash. It tells us do not wring, excuse me, do not bleach, do not tumble dry, and do not iron. Obviously there's acrylic in there, and it asks us to dry it flat. So I'm imagining that you could apply this yarn to quite a few projects, but as I said, in the on the website they show you a beautiful little jumper for a child, so that's gorgeous. Now I'm going to show you the color swatch, the swatch that I made up, just so that you can see that you don't need to use complicated stitches for this yarn, because the yarn is the star. So basically, and you can't even see them, guys. I mean, they just become one fabric. So I've started off with a couple of rows of the single crochet. These are all US terminology. Half double, and then the double crochets. And then over here, you can't even see them. I did like a cross double crochet, and then I did some smaller bauble stitches or popcorn stitches. I could have made them fatter if I wanted to, but I didn't. Then I thought I'd try to see what the window stitch would look like. I even tried to do the V-stitch, but it really does get lost in the fabric. That would be nice for maybe like a border for a scarf or something. And then up here, you can't even tell, but there's a lemon peel stitch. And then I did some single crochets, because I want to show you how you can frog it, because I was very concerned that first these fluffs would come off. But look at this, guys, like I'm pulling on them and they don't. When I crocheted up, like I think I only saw 1 or 2 fluffs. It was just amazing. There was a couple actually stuck on the ball band because of the glue. So I have to say that that was a huge surprise, because I thought, this yarn is just going to fly away. It's going to get stuck in my throat. I'm going to hate working with it, but I thought I'm going to do this because I really wanted to try it. Now, I did actually frog one row of my pattern, and I have to tell you, and I will show you this, I'll frog this one while we're talking. What I learned is that you need to go slow, because these long little furry bits, or the halo, if you go very fast, they'll get tangled up and create a knot, and that's when it's going to snag and you're going to have to cut it off, and we don't want to lose any yarn. So here we go here. So as you can see, it's so smooth. I have to say that that was a nice surprise as well. So there you go, guys. It is very easy to unravel or frog as long as you go slow. That's my biggest tip for that one, in case you do, need to. So again, simple stitch. You don't need to, worry about creating an intricate pattern. So that's another draw card for me, because it means that the project would go very, very quickly. So what did I make, guys? Well, it's going to be a beanie, right? And here it is here. And let me tell you, this beanie, it is so soft, and I love wearing it. Then I imagined it teamed up with a scarf. So let me tell you a little bit about how I made this beanie, because I was a little bit concerned that generally I use a 6mm hook to make my beanies when it comes to yarn this thickness, and I equate this to like a worsted weight or a 10-ply yarn, so like the spot saver that I generally use. So I use the method where you measure the circumference of your head and then you take away 2 inches. So I was working in inches. So basically my head circumference is 22 inches, take away 2. So when I got to the increase where it made it into 20 inches, then I stopped, and then I worked my way down. And then here I just did the simple front and back, where you crochet in the back and the front post. And I just went down very short. I didn't go very long, but I think with the yarn that was left over, and I'll tell you how much yarn I used, you could probably go with a longer brim and flip it up if you like that look. And I just did 1 row of single crochet just to make it nice and neat. I will pop it on at the end because it is a little bit warm in here today, although we've had freezing cold weather. I think the sun's trying to come out. Anyway, so that's my beanie, and it's great because winter is coming here in Sydney, Australia, and I look forward to wearing it. And it is just so soft, guys. You know how a lot of people talk about if it's like soft on the skin, that's the most important thing. And let me tell you, this yarn really, really is. So I imagine for a little child, it will be wonderful against their skin. They would love to wear it. So I used 80 grams or 2.8 ounces to make that beanie. And out of a 100-gram ball, there were 20 grams left over. That's why I'm quite confident you could make a longer brim and then flip it up if you wish to. Now, I have to say that my experience, so again, this is my experience, guys. As I mentioned, this yarn is beautiful to work with. It just glides off your hook. Like, it's just amazing. That project, honestly, probably within the hour or an hour or so, I was done. 1 end to sew in at the end. It was just perfect. Easy to frog, but as we said, go slow. Very soft on the skin. The halo doesn't shed or fly away, which was very impressive for me, and it's a real draw card for this yarn. Next time I will use a 6.5mm hook. That's something that I would change, because I think that even though it is still very, very soft, I could probably just like it to be a little bit less dense. But in saying that, it's actually pretty much the perfect beanie, right, guys? So let me pop that back on my little head mannequin there. Excuse me. And as we said, the yarn is a star. You don't need to go fancy stitches. They're all double crochets, and I'm very, very happy with that. Now, I did try to find some yarn that I could say, well, a substitute or a comparable yarn would be this or that. When I first looked at it, honestly, I just thought straight away, I thought latte cakes. I have felt the latte cakes in the stores, and also my friend has used it to make a blanket. So when I was trying to think how it felt very, very similar. The only thing that I would say is that the latte cakes will probably, maybe, I would say might be a little bit softer, reason being there's more nylon, because I did a comparison. They've got 42% nylon in theirs, and this one's got 25%. So you can imagine it's the nylon that makes it softer. And a latte cake, when it's full price here in Sydney, Australia, we pay $23, but it is for 250 grams, which equates to $9.20 for 100 grams, which is what the Snuggle Cuddle is. But the latte cake does have 194 meters per 100 grams, whereas this one only has 110. So yes, 110 meters. So, you know, it's not exactly the same comparison, but just to give you an idea, if you've worked with latte cakes and you enjoyed it, I think that you would enjoy this yarn. Now, the question that you're all probably thinking, Litsa, would you buy this yarn again? And my answer is absolutely. I think it's a beautiful yarn. The thing that I would like to do now is make a matching scarf or cowl. I think it would be beautiful for winter. The only thing that I would like to see if they changed it, but I know that they're targeting, like it's targeted to children, these colors. I'd like to see more like neutrals, like a brown or black, white, gray, those colors. I think that they would be awesome for, you know, older or, you know, teenagers or men or women. But this color was actually one that I thought was the most neutrally. I do like blues personally. But as I said, these colors are gorgeous. I mean, you have to admit that you could make some fun projects with them. Like if you're a pink lover, absolutely. You know, there's like a rainbow color, an apricot-y color, and that's like a softer rainbowy color. But look, at the end of the day, it is a very accessible yarn to us down here in the southern hemisphere, especially if there's a big W store near you. I know that it's not available to everybody, and you know that was a little bit disappointing for me when I did my search, because I was hoping it would be something that you could all access. But in saying that, look, it might come your way, and it is a beautiful, beautiful yarn, and I would certainly be buying it again. $5.50 is not cheap for 100 grams, because you could probably get 200 grams for the Spot Saver. It's $9.50 currently, like when it's not on sale. But this has the halo, guys. That's what you're paying for. It's a specialty yarn. Not a novelty, but a specialty yarn. So let me pop it on for you before we go so you can see what it looks like. So there we go, guys. The perfect fit. That formula is amazing. I absolutely love it. I think that I could team this up with some denim, even some tights. I've got some brown colored jumpers and things that I can wear it with. So I'm actually, oh my gosh, it's just so soft, guys. I'm actually so happy that I got an opportunity to make this for myself and to share it with you. Let me pop it back on my little mannequin so it's nice and safe there. Let me get my hair nice and flat again. So that's it, guys. That was our first episode, and now we have to choose our next yarn of the month. And I'm going to choose a yarn again from the Shawn Sheep range, and I have never used a yarn like this before. And here it is here. So this one is called Cordella. Now this one I went for something a little bit more brighter. So there's like a rainbow in here. I absolutely love it. I cannot wait to see how it works up and what project I'll bring you. Now, I have seen yarn like this on reviews overseas, and I can't even think of the name, so I wonder if it compares to that. But in saying that, you're just going to have to come back for episode 2 and see what my little review is. So let's look out for this one, Cordella. There we go, I can't say it, guys. So this will be for episode number 2. So thank you so much for joining me today. It is Mother's Day, so all of you that are celebrating, happy Mother's Day. And until I see you all very, very soon, take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now.